Yeah, so today I'm going to explain about this particular saw, which is not very frequently used by people unless they are working in the space of arts perhaps. It's called a fret saw, F-R-E-T. You see this long U-shaped structure. The blade is extremely thin and can break very easily, but it's quite cheap. You get a pack of like 200 blades like that. You need to fix the blade on two ends. While fixing the blade, you fix one side and then keep your saw like this. Press this so that it bends. You see the blade is bending, yeah, and then tighten it. So what happens when you release it, the blade becomes pretty tensed. Now the advantage of this saw is, if you see, because of this U shape, if I were to start cutting some wood, right, it can go deep inside up to here. And the other advantage is, being thin, you can keep cutting into whatever shapes you want. So I'm going to just show you and try to recover this small ladle, plastic one. It's got burnt. I've created a small profile. I'm going to cut against that. So I'm going to cut it. I've already started cutting a little bit. So if you see, you should keep on cutting as you keep turning. And now I'm going to turn. So it's quite possible that the blade will snap. So you got to be straight and keep. So if I'm going to make a sharp, you can take a 90-degree turn also. You have to kind of keep, I'll do a 90-degree turn like this. Keep cutting and then turning. That part will cut. Anyway, here goes. Later I plan to sand the edges and make it smooth. See, once you get the hang of it, you can actually cut pretty quickly. I've used this to make a few things in the past. If you take a 4mm plywood, you can draw the outline of whatever you want and create some interesting stuff. See, now it's actually turning. Yeah, we'll see the end result once I'm done with it. Cheers. So that's the end result. You see, I've done a fairly quick job at the cut. I'm going to now just round it, smoothen it, and it probably has another lease of life. Let me show you other things that I've made in the past. Yeah, can I have this? There you go. That's a thin piece of plywood. This is probably 3 or 4 mm. Once you create it, it's cut in one single shape. So these are all the turns that you can achieve through that. If there are very tricky portions, like for example this part of it, rather than coming up to here and then turning, it makes sense to cut through the wood here and continue from this end and then cut through here. You don't want to make your job more difficult than it has to be, right? So this is something I made when I was in college. Probably the year is 1988 maybe, and some cool stuff. There's another one. This one is my favorite, and guess what? This is when I learned to use the Fretsaw, and that was in 9th grade. We used to have an SUPW class in 9th, Mr. Cronin. If you are from FAPS, you will remember him. He used to be our SUPW teacher. SUPW stood for socially useful and productive work. And yeah, that's my ultimate favorite. Cheers.